subscribe now and press the bell icon. Never miss an update.
Hello everyone. Today I have another guest with me, Mr. Neerav, and he'll be sharing his scoop today with our audience. So, hi Neerav, how are you?
Hi, sir. I'm good. How about you?
I'm fine too. I hope you are safe.
Yes, sir. Right now, actually, we are at the safest moment of our life and inside our homes always.
Correct. Absolutely, absolutely. So, Neerav, will you please introduce yourself for our viewers?
Sure, sir. Hi, everyone. This is Neerav Shah. I was born and brought up in Mumbai, did my entire schooling over here. I completed my graduation in 2019, and from the exam ended in April, and from May onwards, I was working as an HR executive at KV Wealth Advisors.
Super. So Neerav, can you tell us about how was your preparation for the MBA entrances and what did you exactly do? How much you study and what all strategies you used? Something like that. Some more insights about the exams that you take and how was those experiences?
Okay, so I believe the biggest advantage that I had was research about career. That helped me shortlist MBA as my career choice right after my 10th standard vacation. So before even taking up commerce, I knew what I wanted to do in my post graduation. From the first year of BCom, I started with the very basics of CAT preparation. The initial stage was about how can a student who studied under the SSC school system be able to have a much more rational and a logical approach to problem solving. This is something that we have never experienced in our schooling. These gaps need to be filled up to actually ace any aptitude level test. Apart from it, second and third year of my undergraduation involved a lot of mock exams, analyzing them over and over again, getting guidance from professors that they are probably the best resource you can ever get. It is not the name of the classes that could be the turning point, but the particular professor that you look up to as your mentor. Uh, I have given two CAT exams, and the professor's experiences would be 2 raised to x. So please do take benefit from any of your professor's experience. Also, I would suggest that regular practice is very important. Many a times we see a very good head start, but then it tapers down towards the end with almost non-existential preparation. This is not an ideal scenario. You have to ensure that your motivation, your persistence, and your efforts continue at a steady rate.
Super. So basically, on an average, if I ask you roughly, how many hours you used to study, or did you have a timetable that you used to follow, or something like that?
So, very honestly, I used to try follow a timetable, but the reason being that I used to be involved in so many extracurricular activities. I had 7 o'clock to 12 o'clock college, after which about 2 hours used to go for NSS and other college club committee activities. I used to run back home, directly have lunch, and reach classes a little late, which I'm really sad to admit. After that, cricket coaching, cricket practice, so that left me very little time, and it showed up in my cat 2018 score of just around 82 percentile. uh, what I found out was that I had a very wonderful all-round personality. The interviewers would have probably loved me to have someone who has achievements in sports, social service, but what dragged down on me was the CAT score and academics. What happens is that no matter how good you are, if you do not clear the CAT cutoff, they are not even going to ask you. So even if you have an average profile, but if you do manage to clear the CAT cutoff, you at least stand a chance to prove to the professors that why you should be a valuable asset for the particular B school in the interview process.
Exactly. Actually, this is what we also think. on emphasizing. A lot of students who come to us would be like, sir, work ex zaruri hai kya, ye extra curricular zaruri hai kya? The only question I tell them is that the only way that you are going to justify about your work ex and extracurriculars, when you clear that cutoff and you get a GDPI call, basically, only
Right.
then they are
Right.
gonna bother asking about all those scenarios. But good that you have confirmed that also in a way. So people now
Yeah.
probably agree and listen to us more, hopefully. Anyway, so you had given all the exams, like which exams you gave, as and you said that you did one more attempt of
Yes.
CAT as well. So in the first year, which exams you had written, and in the second year when you were repeating, which exams you had written?
So the season starts with NMAT in the month of October, followed by we have CAT, IIFT, SNAP, and ZAT. And the reason is that all the last four exams that I mentioned, starting from CAT to ZET, take only a month. So it's like almost every Sunday you have to go to a different exam center for the exams, and you cannot simply leave your IIFT or ZAT preparation to the very end. You have to have a very balanced approach right from the beginning. And same with the second year, I did give all the exams. From NMAT to ZAT, and this time, in fact, I even gave the CET, which I had missed out on the last year.
Super, super. So basically, when you, let's say, imagine, so first year, as you said, you got around what, 82 percentile, if I'm not wrong,
Yes,
in CAT.
yes,
82
right.
percentile in, okay. And then onwards, when you decided to give one more chance, what was your experience in that one full year, and what you were thinking, and you had gotten up a job or something, and how you used to prepare and manage your time in that repeat year?
Sir, over the 2 years of my preparation, I believe the XLRI interview of the 2019 season was the turning point, I would say. My preparation can easily be divided to pre-XLRI interview and post-XLRI interview. That interview not only was a very big dejection but a great learning experience. I got to know where I stand. All the overconfidence flowed out. I realized what the competition actually in the market is, what it is like to be in a group discussion with IITians, with students from all over India, what their viewpoints are, and even the professors, their collective experience would be more than my age, and they can ask you questions on any subject under the sun, and they know answers of questions of any subject under the sun. You cannot simply find your way out in an interview. You have to be well prepared. You cannot be just read a few newspapers a day before exam and went directly for the interview. It is a year long effort. You should have a much more comprehensive effort, be it economy news, foreign affairs, domestic politics, etc. Coming to the second part of the preparation, post the ZAT interview, I fortunately used the dejection in a positive way. The interview was on Thursday, and I remember Saturday onwards, I was Googling MCOM at Mumbai University. I made a Naukri.com profile searching for jobs. I knew I was not going to clear that interview. I knew I have to give the exam another go. So why not have a head start? Why not start preparing from the month of March itself? And that helped me gain the head start. I started giving mocks right away from the month of April, May, because I had already done my preparation in the previous years. Apart from it, there is, all coins have two sides. So the head start helped me, but at the same time, I lost my motivation in the month of September, October. That period was haunting for me, I would say. I could not study. I opening the book, especially quants, was a effort that I had never experienced. I would have to take. But what I realized was I do not have to ace the quant section necessarily to ace the cat. I can maximize my scores in verbals and LRDI and cover up with it that in quants, which did reflect. I scored a 98 percentile in verbal, which was earlier a 78 percentile.
So
For I believe practice was what helped me. Doing what was interesting me was helping me go along. And mock was just another excuse to study for 3 hours. Otherwise, it would be almost impossible to sit at one place for 3 hours for me. Mock helped me stay at one place to focus, and it came as a challenge which I wanted to face head along. So that did eventually turn out well.
Super, super. And you were working where and what was your profile was?
So actually, I have two jobs. I would say I am a mutual fund consultant, which the license I took up since the age of 18, and I was building my client base. But IIMs do not consider your internship or CA articleship or any other work pre-graduation. Only the work that you do post-graduation is counted in the actual work experience. Rest everything can help you add points to your interview. Apart from that, so post graduation, I took up the job as an HR executive at KV Wealth Advisors. My roles involved, since it was a very small organization and near to my home, I saved the time spent traveling in Mumbai local trains. I could uh, develop myself a lot because I got a lot more opportunities than what I would have got in a fairly large organization. All these experiences helped build a much better curve. I had great relations with the CEO, whom I was directly reporting to. I also got the opportunity to visit IIM Bangalore as a delegate for Young Leaders Summit. I am Ahmedabad for the Model United Nations Conference. All these experiences, all this staying inside the actual B school, the staying in I am Ahmedabad, I am Bangalore, these also do act as wonderful forms of motivation. There are many competitions available on daretocompete.com. You can check them out. Do participate, not necessarily to win, but just to participate, just to know. It is better if you fail now rather than after getting admission.
Super, super. And if I'm not wrong, there's this one point that I can remember now that which is a slightly different, than the normal GPIs that basically in especially XLRI, you have to submit a small 4 or 5 minute video resume kind of a thing. So can you elaborate about that experience, like how it was for you standing in front of a camera, recording yourself,
Yeah.
talking in front of the camera? What was what was going in your mind, or what was that experience? What was the topic that you have got, or what is that process exactly? Can you tell us more about that process?
So, fortunately for me, I because of the exposure I gained in the year 2019, along with a few certificate courses that I had done, which also had practical assignments like carrying out negotiations with other students from all over the world. So those experiences did help me in the online interviews. Also, because of COVID, there were a lot more online interviews, including an IIM Ranchi interview that I had. So what happened in the XLRI asynchronous interview is that they have a set of 10 questions which appear one by one on the screen. After you have to answer them one by one as and when the question appears. You get about 30 seconds to think and 60 seconds to 90 seconds to answer. You cannot go beyond that. The camera will shut off automatically. Speaking too less will make the pause at the end very large. You won't be able to pause the video, so you have to time your answers perfectly to fit in the given time. Also, the questions were a mix of hypothetical work scenarios, leadership questions. If you are in X position and you had a problem with Y person, how would you deal with it? So you have to think of the solution in 30 seconds, present it in exactly 60 to 70 seconds. That I believe was a very vital process of filtering candidates. Also, apart from it, we had a questionnaire of 10 questions which were supposed to be typed out and submitted on the XLRI website.
Okay, okay, nice, nice. Okay, so Nirav, wrapping up this session, any closing comments you have, or any tips basically for our audience?
I would like to say a few words, definitely. Reason one being that please do your research properly. Even if you are doing an MBA, it is very important to study the admission criteria of each and every IIM. We always enter a coaching institute or begin our CAT preparations with the dreams of getting into only ABC. We do not even see Lucknow or Indore beyond that. But it is important to understand the criteria of every IIM are different. The methods and ways of every entrance test are different. CAT is very different from NMAT, which is very different from ZAT, which is very different from CET. It is not necessary for you to ace each and every test. You just have to go there and give your best and work according to what sections fit your aptitude, how you can further build your aptitude. Regarding the interview part, do not expect just that 1 month to help you ace interviews. General knowledge and current affairs is something that you should be in touch with regularly. Reading helps you not just for the GK point of view, but even in the RC passages. Many people just end up the verbal section after three passages and a few VA questions. It is very important that you at least be able to read all five RC passages and then attempt the questions that are quite sure of, which will lead to a higher accuracy. I remember in 2018 I did not get the IIFT call because of zero point 0.3 marks. It is not if I had got one more question correct. Had I got one negative less, I would have probably got a call from IIFT as well. So these mistakes is something that you will regret after committing them. Better to prepare beforehand. And please do give regular mock exams, analyze them properly, sit with your faculty members or mentors, let get the best out of them, gain the most out of their experience, and all the very best for your preparation and the upcoming MBA season.
Thank you so much, Neera, for this wonderful time, and amazing things that you have given. And I can actually understand what you just said in the last line, that this IIFT thing. So such is a, small margin and thin lines that we work on in our lives without even realizing them, that how much impact that it can have on our lives. Anyway, wonderful to have.
Sir, just another small tip for all the
Yeah, yeah.
aspirants. If you actually want to see the difference between marks, you can download the CET results. They are available in PDF. It would be a 1,000-page PDF, and just see how many people stand on one particular mark. On let's say a 100 mark, you would have 5 to 7 pages filled with everyone being on 100 mark. So the importance of one mark is there where you'll realize it.
Absolutely, absolutely. Correct, correct. Thank you, Niro, for the wonderful time. I hope we can, come across and do such more sessions. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much, sir.
All the best for your MBA journey as well. Good
Thank
luck.
you, sir. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. It was a pleasure, sir. Thank you.